Welcome, welcome. Hello, hello. Excuse me. Hi, I'm Baugan. I do some tutorial videos and programming in general for VRChat and for standalone development for things inside of the Unity platform. There's a lot of things that I do. Largely, it's tools for different things, and a lot of it focuses around VRChat specifically. But I have some things that are on the asset store that are more Unity generalized. However, right now, we are in fact working on more Udon tools. So, last week we were working on a system that's actually commissioned that is a menu generator for VRChat worlds. Essentially, it's a tool that allows you to have tabs. Each tab has pages, and each page has elements. So, think over here we have the two tabs for settings and teleports. Then we have toggles and not toggles, and then the toggles will have all of these here. There's just a title, and then follow with all of these things. Excuse me. And it's coming along quite well. As you can see from this menu right here, this in fact is working. Let me see if this is all right. Yeah, that's right. So if I go ahead, I can hit generate, and it creates a whole thing. Obviously, it looks a little bit stupid at the moment, because it actually is showing every page at once. Not exactly ideal. So let me just go ahead and disable a few things here. So we'll disable teleports and not toggles page. And there we go. We have just the toggles page as part of the settings tab. Excuse me. And all these things actually work. So if we go into the system and hit play and test everything out, we can actually change all these values, go to the different pages, and you'll see down here, we actually bake all of this data into client SIP stuff. So I can slide this around and you see this value right here ends up changing as I do this. And these toggles similarly do that. And this slider here does that as well. Persistence even remembers what tab you were last on. So if everything that you do is on the .toggles tab, for example, it'll remember that you were last here. Oh, we also have single select sections. I'm still not quite sure what to call this. I think it's technically a radio menu, but that word has never made sense to me, so I just pretend it's not the real name. Right here's a button that just doesn't have any text, but that's because I told it to make a button that doesn't have any text. So if I go to settings, not toggles. Yeah, so this is a builder event. So all of the types of things that we can make in this system, I know it's going to be a little bit small on your screens, but it's a group select, which is what I've called the single select thing. Button, label, teleport, drop down, event, slider, toggle. All of these have the word builder on top because these are specifically for the generator, the menu builder. But if I go ahead and give this an actual label, it's like, whoa, this is an event. I can go ahead and press play. And it will in fact say that, instead of just being a giant white square that honestly kind of looks more like a... Did I not hit generate? No, I did not hit generate. That would do it. So let's go ahead and hit play again. And make sure that actually works. Okay, so that's the label. In that case, well, we're already finding something we're running into. Did I just forget to do a thing? Oh, button label. Okay, I completely missed that. So if I go to settings, not toggles, our event here, we have our title, which is the label that goes on the left, and button label would be like, press me, exclamation point. Generate, play. Alright, now it should be working. Yeah, there we go. Whoa, this is an event, and then press me. Ta-da, it works. Okay, cool. With that, let's actually start getting some of these systems hooked up. So right now, the teleport feature technically works, but I want to have a more module-based approach for how a lot of these systems are meant to work. Oh, excuse me. So let's go ahead and build that out right now. We want to have a teleporter that does the teleporting, not every button be a teleporter. So we have canvas, and let's have a modules, and let's have a new folder in here called modules, and have a new C# script GUI module base. Crack that open and head back into Unity so that the compiler thing agrees with me. I don't know, I've been having some issues with the project building or the solution compiling for Rider and Unity specifically. I don't know, it's just been a little bit wonky. Alright, so this is what all of our modules are going to inherit from. So let's go ahead and give it WUI behavior. WUI behavior is just a generic class with these callbacks here, and a reference to the local player. There it is. And we're never going to have a component that is literally our WUI module base, so we'll just give this the abstract modifier. Or, not modifier, what would that be called? I don't know what the word is for that. But yeah, let's go ahead and just start by building our teleporter, and then we can combine things back and forth to see what works. Man, I'm sure some people like it, but this song kind of sucks for focusing. Let's see, this is Quiet Forest, Kirby 64, The Crystal Shards. Well, let's jump ahead to... There we go. Planet Popstar, Kirby's Return to Dreamland. Perfect. That is much better. I will allow you. Yeah. Let's do... We teleport module. The main reason we want to have these as modules that the components interact with, rather than having every one of the components be built out to do it, is for a few reasons. Like if our post-processing has multiple toggles that toggle on and off a bunch of different things, then you kind of want to be able to restrict the actions of other buttons. So we'll just wire it all through a module. Let's go ahead. Should just close all these. Modules. Go ahead and give it that namespace. Bonk, bonk, bonk. All right, so how do we want to do this? For teleports, the buttons can be told what object they are teleporting to. In that case, the buttons need to actually, okay, so let's look at our teleport field. Teleport field has a public target point. Okay. So in that case, we will have let's see here. Because right now these systems know that they have a lot of bindables that they can interact with. But I want to make sure that this is actually working the right way. So, okay, let's step through it. We have our teleport field. This here is right now teleporting the player when the button is pressed. So, unbound element change. This runs because the teleport field, let's actually head back into Unity here to look at it. Here, I think looking at the prefab will actually be faster here. So let's go Wui teleport field. There we go. So this button over here actually tells the root object, hey, we've run the thing, time to go. So this root object is a binding target of this button. And that's generally how I have this entire thing set up. So with that, the button talks to this, and it's like, hey, this changed. Run the teleport. We need this teleport field to talk to this teleport module. So there's a few ways that we can start up with that. I think our Wui menu itself, like the actual script, is going to be a big holder of a bunch of modules. So let's go over here. We have our public bindables here. This handles our on-player restored and stuff like that. So let's give it a public Wui teleport Wui teleport module. There we go. Teleport module. So now all of our fields need to know, need to have a reference back to this menu, which I think is probably what that. Oh, this should be in children. Get component. No. Oh, okay. Nope. I have it right. So for each menu bindables. I think it would make sense to do that as a Wui element rather than the bindables. So these will largely have similar overlap, but we're going to do something else here. So for each menu dot transform dot get components in children, Wui element include inactive element and element. We need to have the Wui element have a reference for the menu. So hide in inspector, protected Wui menu, and then elements dot. Oh wait, no, we need this to be public. There we go. Menu equals menu. All right, so now all of these have a reference back to the root menu that they are a child of, which means we can go ahead and go menu.teleport module for our where is it? Teleport module. Where's our teleport? There it is. Teleport field. So instead of running this, let's just have a public void teleport to and transform target. And we'll do this exact same line here, put it there. Hi there. Welcome, Yuki. We're building out some of the callbacks for our menu. Hello, Ivni? Let me know if I'm pronouncing that right. I smell a good menu. Yeah, it's actually coming along pretty well right now. All of the steps are really going one into the other right now. It's good. So Oh, sorry, I'm a little bit hoarse today. All right, let's do menu. Menu. There we go. Menu, teleport module, teleport to, and target point. So is this menu going to be like something we can buy? Yes. So right now, I'm building it on commission, but one of the big things about the commission was that I get to keep full rights for resale and stuff for it and modifying it in the future, and B, the guy really just wanted it so that a tool like this existed for people to be able to use. They really wanted to be able to have these kind of tools available for both themselves and as something they can recommend for other people. One of the big things that a lot of people will run into if they make a lot of worlds is there's a lot of tooling that kind of needs to exist in all of their worlds. Like, you want a menu, but it needs to be just like slightly different because that world is slightly different in what you can modify. And this is the kind of thing that's really targeting creators like that. So let's hope it ends up being something people actually like. That's always the big one. All right, so now what we need to do is go ahead and rig up the teleports module. So teleports module. Give it the teleport module. Get rid of the S. All right, world menu, and we will give it the teleport module there. I don't think I need to rebuild, so let's just hit play and see if it works. Oh, actually, I might not be able to test this in VR chat today. Does anyone know if VR chat is, like, if the API and everything is back up? I know they shut down for some emergency maintenance earlier today. I have no idea what that is, but hope everything's alright. Alright. Awesome. It still teleports me perfectly fine. So this communication is happening perfectly. Awesome. Well, the teleport one, honestly, doesn't need operational. Nice. Understandable. Wendy, hello, welcome. Yeah, today we're working on a bunch of menu stuff, and most of the actual generator and the styling is done. Obviously, I'll change this from being just a big white button. But we're rigging up all of the interaction and callbacks for stuff. So right now, I'm actually going to steal some stuff from a different tool that I've built, which is my teleport fade system that I actually made for a tutorial. So I have a video on my channel. Do I? Or was it a live stream? This menu is modulars where you can put in your own stuff. Yeah. So the point of this menu is it does have some restrictions. You will have tabs somewhere, you have pages somewhere, and each page will have elements. That is done with this creator right here. So on the root of it, you can do tabs. You can like add a new tab. Wait, why did that break? Normally that works. Uh-oh. No, did I break it? Let's see if I swap back to the other one. Alright, so if I go bonk. Alright, that works. So yeah, you can create a new tab and do this is a tab and give it a sprite. Let's just give it the circle sprite, sure. And this tab will have, let's say, 3 different pages on it. So hit 3, 2, 3, 2, 1. And each of these pages can have a bunch of elements on it. So I can hit plus on the elements list down here. And builder menu element is just the raw base thing. The reason I actually had this doing null was because of that exact thing. But yeah, okay. I can't wait to use this for making announcements and stuff. Yeah. By default, it has a bunch of different things in it. So we have a button, which you can have a title, description, and everything. A label, a teleport, which is just these teleport buttons, pre-rigged for teleporting. The drop down, which I haven't built out yet, but it's coming along. The event, which is a button that just calls an event here. And a slider, which has a lot of settings. So we have a min and max range for both the normal range and the display. Let's say your post-processing goes from 0 to 1, but you want the user to see 0 to 100%. That allows you to give a custom display range here. And then we have builder toggle, which if we go over here actually, maybe. There we go. This is what the toggle looks like right here. Do you have a release date planned out yet? As soon as possible. I want this thing to be done. I've been working on this far too long. I am hoping far sooner than later. It's one of those things that it's really getting there. It's getting close to finished. It just needs a bit more work here and there. Oh, for the generator, one of the things that I didn't mention is we have a prefab library element here. So you can actually make a scriptable object that references all of the different prefabs that you want to use for your menu. Let's say you have a different style of menu, like you have a really sci-fi one. You can put all of the specific fields in here, and they'll use those to generate the same menu. And you can just make that with going to right-click create. This doesn't show up on stream, but I'll see you later. Nap time for me. Understandable. Have a good rest. But yeah, it doesn't show up on stream, but in World UI you can do right-click create World UI, and then just do element library. There's a few other things like style library and style palette, those of which I'm still working on. That's going to be the styling system for this. Right now all these colors are declared outside of this one here, but it's not quite what I'm thinking works. So I have a few other ideas, but that'll probably be the last big thing that I work on for this, is the styling tool for it. But yeah, so I'm actually going to go and snatch some of the code from the live stream I did on setting up a smooth fade teleporter. So Unity exports, tutorials, fade to teleport, and I'll just grab that. Bonk. The idea with this is it essentially allows you to have an overlay that comes over the player's view whenever they're teleporting. So it fades out, you teleport them, and then they fade back in the new place. Excuse me. So let's go ahead and go to our module. Where's my tutorials? There we go. Fade, teleport. Save. So we'll use the Udon Sharp one for reference. So we have this button here that talks to the fade to teleporter. And this largely is going to be what we're copying over. So our teleport module will be, there we go. Okay, let's actually go ahead and I want us to copy most of this. Requester, yeah, okay. What was the requester doing? Oh, you were right. It was a disable interactive thing. Okay. yeah, I don't care about that for this system, so we can actually go ahead and drop the requester stuff. Let's go ahead and copy these. Hi, welcome. We are doing some UI automation for some very fancy stuff. I'm quite happy with how it's coming along, so... this is not copying in the way that I thought it would. There we go. Just took a bit of finagling. Alright. So, we have our wait duration, all this stuff. Cool. I will swap all of these to being protected because one of the big things about this system is I want people to be able to expand and inherit off of it. Heard about a town before I was curious. Yeah. So we've got yeah, let's go ahead and honestly, I think almost all of this we can just straight up copy since well, the whole system is already built. So bonk. There's a few things that we need to clean up. We aren't caring about the requester here, so we'll close that. Get rid of the requester call there. Drop that. All right. So this, I think, uses an animation. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Okay. So we have our begin teleport. So instead of doing teleport to here, we'll drop this, and in our teleport field, we'll do begin teleport and target point. Now, we need to actually give it the animator and everything. Unity finish compile. There we go. Head back to World UI, scenes, demo, modules. All right, let's unpack this prefab. So unpack that. Remove this component. We'll go to our scripts, modules. There we go. Teleport module. And was the audio source is the child of this. It is the animator. Fade duration 1 second. Yep, that's fine. Read out all this is good. Now I think that's fine. Yeah, let's just put the -10 so it hides under the scene for now. Just so it's a gizmo I'm not accidentally clicking. Teleport module. Get rid of the previous one and pop that in there. So let's see if this actually works. Alright. Boom. Alright, fade it out and fade it back in. Cool. And it locks your movement during that. And if I do this and respawn, it frees you from it. Doesn't immediately cancel it, but let's look at that. Do we have an easy immediate cancel? Nah, it's fine. Okay, so in that case, we have our fade teleport all integrated. Next up, we're going to have post-processing. So this is going to be a little bit wonky because I already have a system for this in an older version of the World UI toolset. And we are honestly going to open up that Unity project and see what I did there. Once it manages to do that. I guess in the meantime, I can make some of the scripts that we need. So the WUI post-processing module. Go ahead and crack that open. Give the right namespaces and everything. Module base, bonk. Drink a bit more water while we keep waiting. So one of the reasons that I made this system as kind of modular as possible and inheritable is because what I can actually do is we have our where is it? WUI slider. So this is a normal real slider. We can actually just go ahead and make a slider dash post-processing, and that's essentially going to be exactly the same thing. But it'll be interfacing directly with the post-processing system by default. All right. Let's see, does this swap over? No. So this is selecting the wrong Unity version. So if I minimize this and click into the other one, is that going to correctly select it? No. Okay. I guess I'll have to swap to screen sharing instead of like my display capture instead of the auto swap. All right. So this is an older version of the menu. You can see the layout's a bit less refined. The colors are a bit duller. But more importantly, it has a bunch of stuff actually set up. So let's go to our slider element. This slider talks to a lighting module. Okay, I called it lighting in this. All right. And this lighting module, how does this work? Okay, so it individually binds a bunch of the stuff for that. Okay. In that case, that should work fine. Yeah. Invert values. Oh, right, because if you want like brightness, it's easier to do that as a darkness slider and just reverse that. Okay, so let's go back here and figure out how we're going to set that up. And our modules and our let's do lighting module. That's nice and effective for the end user. WUI lighting module. Scriptpush U-sharp program asset referencing. I think it's just confused. Lighting module. Why is it complaining? Let's have an Udon sharp definition. Scripts. Yeah. This is the definition right here. Alright, Udon Sharp, what you doing? What's happening here? Why are you doing this to me? I'll just put a space in here to make it recompile. Hello, welcome Louie. Welcome. We're just getting some integration set up with this store. The sliders and buttons and all that stuff actually interface directly with the modules and everything. Okay, see? Yeah, I just forced it to recompile and now it's fine. Alright. Well, that easy solution, I guess. So the lighting module needs to... Actually, it might make the most sense for lighting to be handled on component, actually. For the post-processing sliders, I mean. Because I don't think this system natively has an advantage for doing that. Yeah, okay. Let's go ahead and for now, I won't delete this yet, but let's go ahead and make a post-processing slider for that. So we have our elements, and then let's make a new U-sharp GUI slider post-processing. And let's find a... Where is the GUI slider? There it is. Crap, I did this in the wrong project. Right. Alright. Back into the real Unity. There we go. Alright. GUI slider post-processing. There we go. That's what we wanted. Bonk, bonk. And this will inherit directly from GUI slider. And not a whole lot else needs to be changed, but we'll have a inherit for on value set without notify on component used. Is on value set without notify the one that gets used for on initial value set? On initial value loaded. Right. Okay. Where do I actually... What's inheriting this? Yeah, okay. So instead of inheriting from this, it should be on value, on initial... What? Wait, no. Without... Oh my god, what is it called? On value set without notify. Okay, there we go. Oh, wait. It's right up here. No wonder it won't autofill. I'm already have it in here. Okay, so we're setting the styles here. Oh, but we actually care about this here because we're setting the value. Okay, nope. I am getting distracted in the weeds. All right, so we have our close fade teleporter, lighting module, post-processing module, builder. All right, we have our slider, and we have our post-processing slider. Just inherits from this. I'm going to copy this up here. Builder slider, post-processing, and we, of course, are going to just inherit from GUI slider. And we're going to give it two things. A public list of post-processing volumes? Is it just post-process volume? Yeah, okay. Volumes and public bool invert value. So here we'll do a public post post process volume array. Honestly, this can probably just be an array as well. Actually, yeah. Go ahead and copy these. Bonk, bonk. Then on value changed. On bound element changed. And this is a slider. So we need the float value. Oh, wait, no. This is on component used. That's it. On the component used. And on initial value loaded. So we'll for each our sliders. Wait, no, our volumes. There we go. Volume dot weight. That's it. Will equal our float value. Wait, okay. Will equal invert value question mark 1 minus float value or float value. All right. I'll just have both of those happen here. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So how should I do this? One thing that I want to do is right now the builder system, the menu builder. Where's the editor for this? There we go. This editor here manually handles all creation function for all of the different fields, which I'm not really stoked about. I think it should be something that should be declared on each class instead of just having one monolithic thing that manually handles it. The problem is there's just a lot of fields that get sent into it. So I wasn't quite sure if I wanted to do that. Alright, let's... Screw it. We're doing that. It's going to make things a lot easier. So, public void. Yeah, okay. That'll work. So, public void create. This will be a virtual void. This will need a few things in it. So, let's say our toggle here. It needs to instantiate off of the library inside of a container. Set binding. Okay. Let's go ahead and do a library. Library, and then what does this take? A rect transform? So, yep. Rect transform container. Honestly, I think I can go back to auto switching now. There we go. Perfect. And if we need more, I can add that in the future. So let's go to, honestly, the toggle. Let's do the toggle first. Nice and simple. Create. So instead of doing it there, we'll go to the editor, copy all this, bonk. Library. Instantiate prefab isn't exposed here. What is that? Is that an editor thing? Oh, it is one of my editor extensions. What would be the best method for that? I could just move this out of the editor component extensions and have this be runtime and just wrap everything in these checks. Honestly, that's probably the smart one. It'll be the easiest one to set up. Which is kind of what I'm looking at here. Alright, so these editor utilities will be component extensions. We'll have this be Wooly instantiation extensions. This is just called Wooly editor utilities right now. Okay, so let's go ahead, instantiation extensions, and move that into scripts. Drop editor. Like the music? Understandable. It's good stuff after all. Yeah, let's do that. Just declare it outside of the scope. That way it shouldn't complain about anything. Do the same down here. My one complaint about this track is that it feels like it. Just a second. Yeah, it has two parts for it, but it feels like a verse into a chorus, and like there needed to be a follow-up. Like there's no bridge or guitar solo. I'm not expecting this to have a guitar solo, but there isn't the role of a third act in it. All right. Some of those are probably exposed. Shape prefab here. So let's be title. It just should take it this, yeah? Okay. And then the last thing. Oh, man, my computer hitched up here. What's Task Manager thinking right now? What's going on? 100% of my RAM is being used, so let's go ahead and close the other Unity. That doesn't feel right, but closing the other Unity did in fact not improve my RAM. Oh well. Alright, let's figure out what scope set binding needs to be in. The set binding I was doing here because it takes the tab, page, and element title. Excuse me. I think maybe just having set binding be here is honestly fine. Alright, so this create is in fact not going to return void, but it will return a T where T GUI element bonk. Can I resolve T? Wait, can I not use T here? Oh, wait, no, I can't use it there. There we go. Okay, okay. Honestly, I think it'll be just safe enough to call this a GUI element instead of T. GUI element. Abstract. That way we have to implement it. Abstract method in non-abstract class. But if I make this non-abstract, then we get a bunch of issues with my drop-down selection. Well, if we make it abstract... Okay, well... We'll just do that, and we'll never override it. Well, we'll never use base here. Override GUI element. Drop that. Oh, right. This lost the virtual label. There we go. All right. Return GUI element. Nope. GUI toggle. All right. So instead of doing all these things, we're going to instead do GUI element equals elements.create library container, then GUI elements dot, oh, we'll do set binding, and that will take GUI element. Oh, it's expecting a bindable. Okay, yep. No, that makes sense. GUI bindable. All right. All right, so that creates a bindable element like that, and we can run that through there. In that case, I think we can, if we comment that out, this should work perfectly fine. If we head back in, we should still be able to hit the generate and have it create the real toggles. GUI toggle does not contain a definition for set element fields, no accessible extension methods. Alright. Where is this? Oh, this is outside of the Udon Sharp compiler. You know, That's fine. I was keeping it out because it doesn't need to exist at runtime, but friggin' whatever. Oh, that's even more of a big old bug. Oh, wait, no, that does need to not be in there. Keeping things out of the Udon Sharp compiler. So difficult. It's not actually difficult, it's just you have to do it freaking everywhere. Alright, that looks like it's less angry at us. Alright, now it's not angry at us. Alright, however, we have canvas, panel, tab, pages. This page has some toggles on it somewhere. So, I should hit this button. Crap. Binding path, menu of what part was the null here? Set bindable element create there. Oh, okay. So this is breaking for all of the other ones that we haven't implemented. Which means that our toggle was created, actually. Okay, so yeah, this proves it did work. Toggle set up, binding targets, yep, Yeah, okay. That actually worked perfectly fine. Alright, now we just have to do that for all of them. Alright, we are at the 1 hour mark, so I'm going to take this moment briefly to go use the bathroom. I'll leave the music on for y'all, and I will be right back. I am back. Oh, right as Guru Valley ends. Such a sad thing. Man, I'm still pretty cautious about the fact that my RAM is almost completely maxed out right now. What could I close in the background? Oh well, maybe it's just a consequence of streaming. Alright, let's go ahead and rig everything up. So, builder slider is going to have similar stuff as this. Actually, let's go ahead and close all of the things that I'm not using. Tab this down here so we can reference it. Close all this stuff, element, and bonk. Go to the slider. Yeah, there we go. Tab that one. Override. I don't think we care about the base in this one. Okay, yeah. Especially since we just have it returning null. Alright. We want to put this over here. Alright. Any slider dot will just become self. I don't care about that. And this will be this. Return UI slider. Next we have a builder dropdown. And well, this isn't actually implemented yet. It's a little awkward. Well, I guess we could just go ahead and copy that one then. Bonk, bonk. Ooh, oh, like, there we go. This. Turn, we drop down. Alright. Want that out. Group select. Grab this. Pop that in here. But instead, we'll grab all this good stuff. Put it there. Group select. Bonk, bonk. Any instances of group select will be self, and element will be this. Don't need the set binding, and can drop it. Right, builder event. Be that. Toggle's the smallest one. I'll just copy that one. Oh, forgot I have an udon event thing here. Okay. Nope. That's not what I want. Okay. Builder event. Ooh. Oh, there we go. So this is a builder event. Okay, we event return that. Event field, delete element this. Teleport field, nice and simple. Turn that. Remove this. That becomes this. Remove that. Comment it up. And builder label. It's the last one. Builder label really... The label really is just a complete wrapper entry. It doesn't do anything except hold a section of my my tooling. Oh. This is a WUI element, not a WUI bindable. Oh, any reason I did that? There we go. Bound to none. There we go. And that should be the last one in here. So do that. We go here. Set binding bindable. If we element is null. Debug log warning. No bindable created. And return. Fully bindable. Okay, there we go. Ghostface, welcome. I'm going to see everyone here. I've removed a absolute crap ton of code and moved it over to more coherent places. Let's see if this tooling all works again. Best case scenario, it just does, and nothing broke. Worst case scenario, I have to press Control Z a bunch of times. All right, yeah, everything seems to still be in working order. That is good because that breaks out the ability to create a bunch of stuff into much more individual sections. So when people are making their own tooling, they can inherit from it pretty easily. All right, teleport, spawn, teleport. Yep, okay, this is all working perfectly. Awesome. All right, why did we do that? We did this so that we could make the slider better. Because we specifically have a different version of our slider. Let's go ahead and remove this switch statement now that it's empty. Feels a little redundant to have this as a separate function now, but might as well leave it. Not doing any harm. What was lock height? Fixed item height. Oh, right. Okay. I remember what that is now. Alright. Let's get some water here. So we have our post-processing slider. And that is under Elements, Slider, Post-Processing. So, there it is. Just like a normal slider, except we have some additional values here. And, of course, we need some additional builder tools for it. So, let's go ahead And you create if am I not going to get the autocomplete for it? Guess not. Let's do base.create library container. And we can safely cast that to Wooey bindable. Oop, Wooey slider. Because we know this is in the sliders one, so this works fine. Then on the slider, actually, because we want a different prefab instantiator for this. Do we? Yes. Yes, we do. We want a different prefab used to instantiate this. It'll have the post-processing slider function on it. Modern behavior. And I guess that means we're just copying this section. Okay. Just a little bit clunky, but I guess it works. Alright. Alright, so post-processing slider prefab. Post-processing slider. Alright. And then we need to set these two values. Blue slider dot volumes equals volumes, and Wooey slider dot invert value equals invert value. All right, let's go ahead and make that prefab. See a whole bunch of stuff we don't need at the moment. All right, Wooey slider. We're going to duplicate you. I'm going to remove this. Is this the right idea, or should we just have it interface with it? Nope, I'm doing it this way. I can't keep redesigning this system, or it will never get done. I simply have to make a decision sometimes. And that decision sometimes is just to make things go faster. Alright, slider component. Slider. Fill image. Margin, yep, that's all fine. Value label. It's here. Then we have min label and max label. Wooey slider post processing. That'll be the variant for that. And we can go to our library, click on the slider, and grab the post-processing variant to put in there. Alright, now we need to actually tell this to make one of these. So let's go to the top of toggles and add this here. Change this to be slider post-processing. And I'm really going to have to alphabetize that list. Two null ones, sure. Generate. Alright, sit play, see what happens. Alright, well, something already broke. Oh, because it's expecting it to be real. So if volume continue equals null. There we go. Alright, no errors here. Bonk. Alright, and we have a slider there that breaks immediately. Let's find out why. Oh, because I... Right, okay. No, I understand. Yeah, okay. Now we can hit play. The slider should be there. We should be able to slide it around. Cool. All right. And hypothetically, if we had some post-processing volumes, those would be immediately affected by this. Cool. All right. Well, the next thing that's kind of bothering me is the let's find this here. The list that we're using for our component dropdown is nowhere near alphabetized. I think it's just ordered by compilation order, which is a little bit obnoxious. Menu build. Okay, so this will bind to that value. This is that. So we need a we need to go to our editor, editor list view. No, I do not need that. We need the attributes. No. Wait, where is the attribute for that? Is it not an attribute? Is it just a field? Maybe I made it as a field. Menu builder, editor, layout stripper, editor to list view. Yeah, and that's not the one that... Where does that drop down come from? Alright, we're clicking through some things. Alright. Menu builder. Builder tab. Builder page. Subclass dropdown. Where are you in my project? Subclass dropdown. Oh, the editor for it is just in the existing script. Okay. Oh, and it just didn't get put in the attributes folder either. Okay. Alright, so that resolves all that. But we need to actually fix the ordering of this. So let's get the, where are we handling the name generation? Types, type. Choices. Okay, so we just need to sort choices when we're done. So choices dot sort. It's just a list of strings, so it'll just sort naturally alphabetically. Alright, so if I go into this, bonk. There we go. Slider, post-processing. Right next to slider. Nice. You love to see it. I love it when things work. I wonder, actually, we can probably strip out a lot of the features of the slider on its own. Well, no, okay. This will be fine. Yeah, because the only thing we'd be cutting out is the callback target, since it's effectively running into these. But, yeah. Should work fine. And I will put invert value at the top, so it's easier to find. If only all things worked the first time every time. Well, honestly, it's been going pretty well. This project alone has had me quite encouraged, I'll be honest. It's at a point where a lot of the things are just working. I just have to make them. It's kind of the slow process. But hey, it's coming along. So we have a slider that specifically toggles, not toggles, but that adjusts the value of a oh my god, what's it called? Of a post-processing volume. There we go. So now let's actually, I don't think we need to go ahead and make specific versions of toggles. I think we can just integrate the toggle setup for that. So let's go to our toggle script. We toggle. You're going to have two arrays, a public game object array, object targets, and a public component array. Component toggle targets. There we go. And the same thing will happen down here. We toggle dot object targets equals object targets, and similarly component targets. I think for usability, I should, because I keep duplicating a lot of code for on component used and on initial value loaded, I should probably have a function that kind of wraps those things, such as apply value. Yeah. So, protected virtual void apply value. Apply value will run at the end of run binding callbacks. No, we'll do that separately. Okay, so here, instead of doing it both places, instead just do apply value. Put it here, and we can actually just drop both of these. What's the other one that I was doing this in? We're doing it here. Yeah, okay. We can drop that one. I said without notify. Okay, that just writes into that. But I feel like there was one we were doing recently. Okay, let's just look at what's inheriting from. Oh, what is implementing the on initial values set? Okay, that is happening here in Wooly tab group. Oh, is that the only one? Okay, so this has a duplicate here, so just have a apply value. Yeah, so tab groups do care about having their callbacks and stuff run every time. We just don't care about writing it every time. Alright. Cool. In that case, we can take that, go over to our toggle again, and run that during apply value. For each object targets VJ, if VJ continue obj.set active bool value. There we go, bool value. And we'll do the same thing for each excuse me, component targets. Comp if no comp, continue comp dot enable. Wait, do components not natively have the enabled variable? I thought that was the thing that all components had. Ah, crap. Alright, guess we'll still just support objects then. Oopsie poopsie. Okay, we really should have a default for this. Alright. We toggle dot set bool default. That's one that keeps getting me now and again too. Yeah, I guess some components just don't have an idea of what being active or inactive are. Oh well. Awkward, but hey, whatever. Do what I can. I don't actually want to do that. I want this toggle to have a public void. Yeah, there we go. Public void set default value bool value. This will just do bool value equals value, and toggle component dot is set is on without notified value, and we'll just call that from here. Technically, anything inheriting from behavior should have it. True. Let's look at settings, toggles. Show me a toggle. Alright, yeah, you have the targets down here. Is the callback target for this ever set? No. Cool. I, in fact, don't use that feature. Cool. That makes this much easier. Alright, let's have some cubes. Alright, world menu, settings, toggles. Toggle this cube. You. Toggle the other cube. The right one will default to true. Alright. Both enabled by default. Actually does seem to be doing a whole lot of not anything at all. Is that because I didn't regenerate the menu? I honestly have no memory if I did or not, so let's find out. Ah, okay. Bonk, 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 bonk. Perfect. These do appear to be inverted, which is a little bit weird. Oh, it's right, it's just my visual's wrong. Ow. Just punched my microphone. Ow. Alright, Alright, so this is setting the anchor position. That might just be the wrong thing. I thought it was the right thing, but let's look at this value to see what's getting changed. That is right. It's just being applied at the wrong time? Because this is the on state, which most people would consider to be the off state. Off state New York. One component used, set bool is on, apply value. Bool value. Oh, I'm literally just... I forgot how ternaries work. Alright, easy solution. Nice, nice. There is a absurd amount of tooling that I've built out for this, as just like, oh, I want this, I want that. So for example, for controlling the position of this toggle, there's a, where is it? Oh, it's on the component itself, right? So if I go to this toggle here, we have like a -35 and a +35 for this offset. And I was trying to get it to work with this, but what I ended up getting it working with was something else here. Oh, it's the slider. Here we go. Yeah, so the slider has a vector too, but I've given it custom labels for min and max, and that's just an attribute that I now have for this. So if I just go to my where is Wooey slider? There we go. Yeah, it's just vector2 label, and you set what the X and the Y label are, and that's just what it does now. Instead of saying X or Y, it says min and max, which I'm quite happy about. It was a bit finicky to get working, but there we go. Post-processing. Okay, so what do we want next? We have post-processing slider, we have object toggles. We need volume sliders, that's it. So volume sliders are going to be almost identical to the post-processing sliders. Louis slider volume. But it hasn't finished compiling yet. Come on, Unity. There we go. Slider post-processing. There we go. Bonk, bonk. And this is just inherit from Louis slider. Set post-processing audio source sources volume. Give that to source, and basically do this same thing, except we change it from post-processing to volume audio source. There we go. Setting volume slider prefab. Louis slider volume. Oh, and those would be sources. Not sure to do it. Now let's have some rando audio source over here that just isn't gonna play anything. Max range and linear. Sure. Let's make it like 5. The way it bothers us. Disable plan awake. Actually, I'll enable those in case I decide to put something in there. But for now, I do not. Alright. Settings. Toggles. This slider shall become a slider volume. Sources. Audio source. Bang. This goes from 0 to 1, right? Yeah, 0 to 1. It's pitch that goes up to 3. Okay, so audio slider. This changes the volume. Generate. Right, we don't actually have a prefab for that yet. Slider volume. Copy those over. Fill area. Slider. Bonk, bonk, bonk. Description. Title. And icon. Alright. Get rid of this component. Go to our prefabs. Bonk. Prefab variant. Nice. Element library. Moments. Volume. Generate. There we go. Now everything's working. Alright, audio slider down here. We got a range slider. Goes 0 to 100. And is it doing anything? Let's find out. Well, it seems Unity decided to recompile here quickly. Not sure why, but let's go back into play mode. Alright, audio slider, you got 43%. So, audio source is at, yeah, 0.43. Awesome. Full control over audio sliders. I like it. Cool, cool, cool. That works actually really well. What else was in the original? Because I'm basing a lot of this off of a system I already built, but just wasn't good enough, so I'm just building a new one. Invert value, don't care about that. This all looks fine and dandy. We might have... Oh, no. We don't have proper drop-downs yet. Okay. So let's actually go ahead and bring this up top. Yeah, so we have a drop-down component. It just does genuinely nothing. What is the way of setting all of the options for a drop-down? I think Unity exposes that pretty easily. What is a drop-down option? Is a drop-down option a variable I have access to? Option data. Okay. That's fine. Option data. Okay. Yeah, that looks fine. In that case, we'll have a public list of option data. Let's see. Go drop down options. No. Okay, we need our own thing because we want a WUI element callback for that. Or do we? Yes, we do. Okay. So we'll have a public struct drop down option. And this will have a public TMP drop down option data. Option data and public GUI behavior target. Realizable. We'll have a public list of that instead. So let's look at our builder here. Can I just not put a drop down anywhere? Yeah, let's swap this to be a drop down. So options, add one. What do we got here? Option data and target. I don't think I need to worry about using option data. I think I can just use it myself. It's a string and a sprite. Okay. Public string. Title and public sprite. Image. Let's call this label. Wait, no. My naming standard is that label is the object, title is the text. Excuse me. Wait. No, we don't need individual. Right. Okay. Nope. This is also superfluous. Superfluous. There we go. Lead behavior target. Alright, so this is going to be a bit different, where instead of pumping a bunch of data over into this, we are going to yeah, okay, so we drop down dot component. Oh, do we not have an auto expose for component? Yeah, okay. So we'll just have a public TMP dropdown component. I'll just return our dropdown component. Oh, there we go. Do I have a set options or add option? Add options, that's it. Alright, just pass in options. And we drop down that add binding listener automation. The target. Binding listeners don't need to be WUI elements. They can be WUI behavior. Okay, yeah. So now, that should work perfectly fine. Settings, not toggles. This drop down gives me my option, your option, our option. Yes, sure. Give that a sprite. Give that a different sprite. Give that a different sprite, and the first one won't have a sprite. Now, generate. Okay. Let's hit play and look what the dropdown does. Well, none of them have an image. Which is probably fine. Yeah. I should really do safety checks. Especially if I'm grabbing things out of a data list like that. Okay, so what do I have in that case for icon support on this? So for the template, we have this. Viewport, content, item, item background, item checkmark, and label. Caption image, template. Wait, what is caption image? Oh, caption text. Oh, okay. Wait. Item text. Okay, so yeah, okay, I don't care. All right. We'll just swap this to be lists. I don't need to add icon support for that. You know, the icon support is technically there. I just don't have to change anything. Just someone else can add it. Alright. In that case, let's go up here to world menu. Not toggles. This is a drop down. Holy crap. Did you know this is a drop down? Generate and play. Alright, so this still says option A, B, and C. It's not actually using my options. Now, why is that? Alright, so issue 1. It just isn't getting rid of them. But they are technically here. So if my option. What happens if I do that? Okay, I think they are technically here. You just can't access them. Are you supposed to be able to scroll this? Oh, right. How does this work? Walker, disable. There we go. Content, yeah, okay. This is scaled to the right height. Viewport seems to be correct. Drop down list, it's a canvas group, it's its own canvas, okay. I an idiot? Did I miss something? Did I miss a crucial part of how drop-downs work? Let's add just a generic drop-down TextMesh Pro. Bring you up here. What do you got in you? You got these three options. You got a template. This template is a scroll rect. So is this. Oh! Right, because I'm stripping scroll rects at runtime if they're not big enough. So that needs to happen much later. Okay, so this callback, oh, but it doesn't build it until it needs them, so... Ah, gotcha. Okay, so my tooling for removing unused layout elements is finding this and thinking that it's an unused layout element. So in that case, I think we can pretty safely just do get component and parent of dropdown, and if so, ignore it. Okay. Let's find that then. So we have our editor, layout stripper. All right. If scroll dot get component in parent. Ooh, entire PC hitched there for a moment. Fascinating. PNP drop down. Continue. And presumably, we'll do that for drop down as well. True to include inactive. And let's see if that fixes it. So we shouldn't have to rebuild. That's all in our the post-processing automation. Post-processing automation. So let's go over to this. There we go. Now it still has all the options in it. Now that did of course expose an existing issue. We probably don't want to do the add options. We probably just want to. Actually, no. They give us a clear options. I will run that and then add my own. Alright, we are pretty much here at the hour, so it'll probably be a good time to start heading off. I'm actually quite surprised by how well things have been going. I think I had mentioned this earlier, but this system is really putting itself together. Of course I say that and it immediately doesn't work, because all these options are still here. Didn't seem to. Oh, because I didn't hit the bloody button. All right, generate, play. Now everything should be in the spot that works. Yeah, there we go. Everything is there as it should be. Man, you love to see that. Everything just working correctly. Good. You love it. Good stuff. All right. Awesome. I think that's all we got time for today. Everything's working really well. I'll be continuing to work on this for quite a while. I really want to get the system done. Yeah. What are these names? A lot of these feel like okay. Have fun. Yeah, of course. I have had a good time. I look forward to seeing y'all next week. Maybe I'll have this done by then. But yeah, we'll see y'all around. It was great hanging out. Always happy to have company while I'm working on stuff like this, and really appreciate it. Until next time, we'll see y'all later. Bye.